Hello students of Standard 9. Welcome to DAV Mall Public School. I am your English teacher Jagruti Mishra. Let's begin our today's online session of English. Today we will start with the poem A Legend of Northland. A Legend of Northland is written by Forbes Carey. It is a ballad. What is ballad? A ballad is a poem narrating a story in short stanzas. Ballad is such kind of poem which tells a story in short stanzas, and in the poem all the stanzas comprises of 4 lines. In total there are 16 stanzas in this poem, and these stanzas tell us a story. Ballads are a part of folk culture or popular culture and are passed on orally from one generation to the next. The story of northern area, the area which is near the North Pole. This exact place is not specified, but Northernland means the area in northernmost part of the earth, that is near the North Pole. Legend means a historical story, one which is very old and has been passed from generation to generation. Dear students, in this poem you will come across many new words. Here are their meanings. Sledges means a vehicle on runners for conveying loads or passengers over snow or ice, often pulled by draught animal. To harness means to tie the reindeer with a rope to a sledge so that it can be used for transportation. Swift, something which runs very fast. Curious means strange. Saint Peter means an apostle of Christ or a disciple or follower of Jesus Christ. Preaching means to give a religious talk. Hearth, fireplace where you do cooking. Faint, to be weak or famished. Knitted means to make dough from flour. Now let us read the poem stanza-wise and let's see what the poet wants to convey. A Legend of Northland is written by Forbes Carey. Away, away in Northland, where the hours of the day are few, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. In the region around the North Pole, Northland, the duration of the day is very less, because its position is such that the sun rays reach for a very less time. When this area is experiencing winter season, the duration of night is very long and the daytime hours is very less. In line 4, they refers to the people who live in this region. The poet says that the duration of night time is so long that the people cannot sleep them through. If they go to bed, take a few hours of sleep, and then they are wake up, it is still night time. He wants to emphasize on the fact that the duration of the night is very long. Where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges when it snows, and the children look like bear cubs in their funny furry clothes. The Northland region experiences severe cold conditions. It is a snowy area. The reindeer is an animal which is found in this polar region. People tie the reindeers to sledges and then the reindeers pull the sledges. He adds that the children look like young ones of a bear because they wear funny looking clothes made of fur. which is like the furry skin of a bear. They tell them a curious story. I don't believe it's true, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. In line 1, they refers to the parents or elders, and them refers to the children or the younger generation. The elders of Northland region tell a strange and interesting story to the younger generation. The poet says that he doesn't think that the story is true, but if he tells the story to the readers, maybe the reader could learn a lesson from it. The story gives an important message. Once when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below and walked about it preaching just as he did, The story is about Saint Peter. When Saint Peter used to live in the world and went around giving religious lectures to the people just like all saints do, then an incident happened. He came to the door of a cottage in traveling round the earth, where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on the hearth. When Saint Peter was moving around the world giving religious lectures to the people, he reached the door of a cottage where a small woman was making cakes. She was baking the cakes in the fireplace, and being faint with fasting, for the day was almost done, he asked her from her store of cakes to give him a single one. As Saint Peter has not eaten anything the entire day, he was very hungry and was feeling weak. So he went to this woman who was baking cakes and asked her for one cake out of many cakes which she has baked. So she made a very little cake, but as it baking lay, she looked at it and thought it seemed too large to give away. The woman was very selfish. She did not give the cake from her store. Instead, she started making a very small cake for Saint Peter. She did not want to share her things, but when she put the cake for baking, she looked at it and thought that this cake was too big to be given to someone. Therefore, she kneaded another and still a smaller one, but it looked, when she turned it over, as large as the first had done. The little miser woman thought that the cake was too big to be given away, so she started making another small cake. When she looked at that cake, she again felt that it was as big as the previous one. Again, she was not ready to give this small cake to Saint Peter. Dear students, here we end our today's session. We will continue this poem in our next session. Let's see whether the little lady gives the saint cake or not, and what happens next. Dear students, now let us quickly recapitulate what we studied today. The poem is a legend about an old lady who angered Saint Peter because of her greed. The story goes on like this. One day, Saint Peter was preaching around the world and reached the door of a cottage where this woman lived. She was making cakes and baking them on a hearth. Saint Peter was fainting with hunger. He asked the lady to give him a piece of cake. The cake that she was baking then appeared to be too big, so she did not give him that, and instead she baked another smaller one that also appeared to be big, so she did not give him that also. Dear students, based on our today's session, here are some questions for you. Have a nice day. Thank you.